When you serve the Most High, when you serve God, and you learn that you are the children of Israel, according to the Bible, that is when you're armed. You're armed because now you have the knowledge and you have the wisdom to protect not just yourself, but to protect your family. And if I could just elaborate on that real quick, you can't help your woman and your family if you can't help yourself, brother. How are you going to lead an example for your family if you're high, if you're on drugs, if you're in jail? How do you expect for your daughters to be raised up righteously and to cover their behind if you letting whores inside of your household up every single day and your daughter sees that? You are supposed to be the first man that your daughter ever looks up to, ever, because you are her father. That is your job, to raise up your daughters and your sons righteously. But the sad part is a lot of our brothers are so weak today, man. Our brothers are weak and destroyed. And do you want to know why?
Chapter 3 and verse 27. No man can enter into a strong man's house.
Into a whose house?
Into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house.
Now the Lord is putting out this right here. No man can enter into a strong man's house. But what is a strong man? Now, at one point in time, the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man had authority and power in his household. When he said went, there was authority. Now, when a man has authority over his household, he helps his household. He instills discipline. He looks after his children, his sons, his daughters, and his wife. That's what a strong man does. But here's the problem with America. America hates black, Hispanic, and Native Indian men so much that they do everything in their power to destroy us. Now here's the thing, there's more than one way to destroy you, brothers. Okay, now we can go with the most basic one. The most basic one is killing you, putting you into these penitentiary centers, putting you in jail, and forcing you to live in these rural communities where you're forced to gangbang, where you're forced to be a drug dealer because you can't make ends meet, because you can't support for your family, because you can't protect your household. So now black and Hispanic men are forced today to be drug dealers, to take drugs, to be gangbangers. Now the thing is, a lot of y'all think that that's hard right there. Being a gangbanger and a drug dealer is not hard according to the Bible. If you could you read the book of Mark chapter 3 verse 27 from the top one more time?
The book of Mark chapter 3 and verse 27. No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house.
Give me Luke chapter 11 verse 21. It says first you have to bind the strong man. Now there's plenty of ways that you could bind the strong man today. And when I'm talking about strong men, I'm talking specifically about black, Hispanic, and Native Indian men. Because at one point we were in bondage. We were in Egypt at one time. Egypt, I know a lot of brothers today like to think that you're African and that you're Egyptian. But Egypt literally translates to bondage. And sadly, our people have been in bondage for a very, very long time. You can remember all the times throughout slavery. Throughout slavery, black and Hispanic people had absolutely no power. Had absolutely no power. But who did they go for first? They went for the man. They didn't go for the woman. Oh, no, no, no. They went for the man first. They got him out of the way so that his family could be weak. You can turn on the TV and look at any type of wildlife. When a predator is going after its prey, it never goes for the big, strong, masculine one. No, it goes for the weak. It goes for the young. It goes for the sick. That's who they go for. So how is the black and Hispanic family destroyed to this day? Well, there's plenty of ways to go about it. You get the man out of the household. How do you get the man out of the household? Well, like I brought up before, you put him in jail. If the man is in jail, he can't protect his woman. He can't raise his kids. He's in jail. How is he going to provide for his family? Now that woman is left there to do it all by herself. And I don't know about you, but I am sick and tired of seeing our women being single baby mothers out here, man. The Lord wanted your women to have a man in your life and to have a family and to raise your children correctly. But the thing is, you can't have that in this country if you're black or Hispanic or Native Indian, because they're always looking for any which way to downplay our brothers, to strip that power away from them. I don't know if y'all ever heard the term breaking the buck, but I'm going to explain it to you right now. During slavery, for over 400 plus years, they would take the biggest, blackest man there, strongest man there, and they would emasculate him. They would violate that man right in front of his family. Why did they do it right in front of his family? They did that because it was a power display. It was to show our women that your man cannot protect you. It was to show your children that your father cannot protect you. Now he's out of the way. Now who's left to sit there and raise the family? Well, there's only one person left. It's the woman. The woman is the only one that can sit there and raise the family now, and sadly, she has to do it all by herself. They disarm the black and Hispanic man. If I could, can I get Luke chapter 11, verse 21?
The book of Luke, chapter 11 and verse 21. When a strong man armed keepeth his palace, his goods are in peace.
It says that, say that one more time for me.
When a strong man armed keepeth his palace, his goods are in peace.
His goods are in peace. When a brother is armed, now I'm not talking about necessarily armed with a gun. I'm not talking about armed with a visible weapon. I'm saying that you're armed with righteousness. When you serve the Most High, when you serve God, and you learn that you are the children of Israel according to the Bible, that is when you're armed. You're armed because now you have the knowledge and you have the wisdom to protect not just yourself, but to protect your family. And if I could just elaborate on that real quick. You can't help your woman and your family if you can't help yourself, brother. How are you going to lead an example for your family if you're high, if you're on drugs, if you're in jail? How do you expect for your daughters to be raised up righteously and to cover their behind if you letting whores inside of your household up every single day and your daughter sees that? You are supposed to be the first man that your daughter ever looks up to, ever, because you are her father. That is your job, to raise up your daughters and your sons righteously. But the sad part is a lot of our brothers are so weak today, man. Our brothers are weak and destroyed. And do you want to know why? It's because the oppressor has weakened our men today. But it gets deeper than that. It gets deeper than that. If I could I please get Hebrews chapter 12, verse 11. That's Hebrews chapter 12, verse 11. They emasculate brothers and sisters today, man. I'm sorry. They emasculate brothers today, man. That's what they do to our people. So, when that happens, let me ask y'all something. Does a woman really want to be led by a man who does not have the ability to lead? The truth is no. That's why a lot of our sisters today have a big problem submitting to their man today, because he doesn't know what it means to properly lead his family. But there's plenty of ways to go about it. Like I said before, first it was slavery. But now we're going to fast forward history just a little bit. Now we're going to talk about welfare checks. At one point in time, our women were getting paid to not have a man in the household. The only way that a black Hispanic woman could collect a welfare check is if the man was absent. He had to be absent. So now literally our sisters are getting paid to not have a man in the household. Now, what does that do to a woman psychologically? You're breaking down the man in front of her very eyes. You are showing that our sisters don't need a man in their life. They can do everything that they want, man. They can do anything that they want. They are a strong, independent black woman, and they don't need no man in their life. Why do they think that, though? They think that because the man that was put in front of them has been completely emasculated. The power has been taken away from him. The authority has been taken away from him. He can't do anything for his family. Then, good Lord, feminism comes along. Feminism, let me tell y'all something right now. Feminism has absolutely nothing to do with black people. It has nothing to do with so-called Hispanics and Native Indians. That is the oppressor's problem. The oppressor's woman doesn't like their man having any type of authority over them. Now, they tell our women that you can't let a man tell you what to do, that you're on equal terms, that you can do whatever you want to do. You're doing things for your family, you serving your man, why can't you be equal to your man? That's what they told our women, but last time I checked, brothers and sisters were still going through the struggle. They try to tell our women that you don't have rights. When in any time period that black people had rights, at one point that we were looked at as something as lowly as a dog. We were counted as 1/3 of a person. At one point they had signs on restaurants that said, no blacks, Puerto Ricans, or dogs allowed.
I.S.U.P.K.